is a member for IALA. These are my clansmates. The younger one, Klein, is not here today, but is, I'm sure, following these proceedings. And so also their sibling daughter, Moito Damari, out pursuing her studies in the UK. So on behalf of Pauline and all of us, tunawakaribisha. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know whether anybody wants to say anything. Yeah, thank you so much. Munaona nimeanza kuwa kazee. Pana chezea mimi. Musinichezee. And so, this place, exactly where you are, is important for me to point out because a lot of people have said things about this place. This portion, which touches Thika Highway, was bought by this family from a lady called Janet Chirchir, a widow from Kericho who had been allocated 100 acres. And below kule kwingine, from a gentleman called David, from I think Major Langat, who is also a gentleman from Nakuru. And this is in Ukambani. I thank Charity Ngilo because when she was Minister for Lands, she clarified these matters. So all the family did was to make sure to take it to Okuta, Mikana Ukamba Ndukalikilwe Mbewabo. Na nicho kitumi anakialame bano a David wakidhimani masi au mema ukitumetele nundu maisi the kava undo sili lakini mayaoka. Sorry for going local because allow me today just to spoil myself by being a little bit not obnoxious, absurd because that is what we are. We like to be very open, and so the story of why we are here is different. We met here on the 15th of January last year. And you want me to now allow me to just read this following one, kwa Kizungu. After that, I will invite my brother Raila, Haji Azungumze, like our practice is. And then the principals of Azimio will speak. Today, I want to make a very special request that nobody leaves this place in a hurry. I can tell you, the collective effort I've seen in putting this effort together is amazing. I want to thank Governor Malombe, Governor Junior, Mutula Junior, the host Governor Wavinya. And I want to say my friend RK, immediate former MP for Wajir East. I know I saw him. Alipeana mbuzi wakubwa 5 all the way from Wajir. Mheshimiwa, our sister Agatha Solitei, the chair lady of elections board. I've never seen a more wonderful lady. Alitoa mbuzi huko Sultan Hamud zikachinjwa na mimi nikaongezea na wengine ma MCA. I'm shocked. MCAs wa Makueni wametuma mbuzi, MCAs wa Mkitui, and I didn't want this to be a collective effort. In fact, quite honestly, tulikuwa tungangane. Kwa hivyo, the conclusion of that matter is please don't go in a hurry. Tutatafuta mbuzi Kioni, Nyandarua Nembali. Tutachinja zingine na zingine until really we feel that we have fraternized because we are celebrating the within the Azimio coalition. And I want to thank the clergy again, Apostle Musili, and wonderful. Let me actually again ask kwa heshima all the clergy who are here to stand again, because we want to really recognize in a very special way. Yaani hawa watu ni wengi, tuwapigie makofi. And I know there were prayers in Machakos yesterday. I thank Governor Wavinya for inviting them again. She attended out of courtesy. Alafu akasema kujene pia Yata Farm kesho tuungane na nyinyi. Tuwapigie makofi because we are all doing this with a very clear conscience. There is no conflict of interest. Hakuna mabishano. You cannot compete when it comes to prayers. Thank you so much. There's no competition whatsoever. I know that Father Mutie in particular, I want to recognize Father Mutie. That gentleman is actually the chair, the national chairperson of all the religious community in Kenya. And I'm told that the only time the Catholics, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Presbyterians and all feel comfortable is when Father Mutie is actually on the chair. And I think if I'm not wrong, our brother comes from Mwala. That is true, isn't it? Mwala. Oh, where exact? Oh, Matungulu. Kwa mwana mole. I want to ask you, we'll be very unorthodox. Just come onekana, because then anybody who feels not recognized, I recognize Father Mutie, and I think all of us will know that even Olesapit will feel recognized. He may not be here at the Church of the Anglican Church in Kenya. He came the other day to talk to me and to pray with me, and I want to thank you. It reminds me of the country, my second country, where I went to do my postgraduate work, Cyprus. But him, I think, is Orthodox, and I want to really thank you for finding the time. Thank you. Thank you. I therefore now I'll recognize the others as I go on, and then I'll call my brother Raila. Nimevalia kijeshi na sio jeshi. Kuna vijana hapa na was coming in, walikuwa nasema KDF. So now, KDF, I discovered, kauliza ni nini, kasema Kalonzo Defense Forces. Ukiwaangalia wengine, they can do with an extra lunch. But it is the spirit of commitment and the love for their country which makes them come out strongly, and more particularly, defense of democracy. I am wearing like this, and if I had time at the end, I really love to sing the words in one of the gospel songs, stand up for Jesus. Ye soldiers of the cross, lift up his royal banner, for it must not suffer loss. From victory to victory, his army shall he lead. And beautiful hymn writer, how relevant it is. This is a time to stand up, the clergy, Kenyans, stand up for Jesus. Because you cannot be standing up for Jesus if you're in Shakahola. And I'm happy the church has come out very clearly on this matter. But I wonder why Raila Odinga was denied access to Shakahola, and they allowed Shakila, my party secretary general, because I think the Senate committee was going there. So, in the spirit of openness, this matter about Shakahola has hit international news. It has put this country's name negatively. Watch Al Jazeera, you watch other places. Therefore, it behoves us as a nation to be very open about what happened in Shakahola. And as Shakila said, I think that we will know eventually the truth. Now, allow me to read the following, because I want to really celebrate our teams. The clergy present have delivered a timely and very thoughtful message that at its heart reminds us whose children we are and why all of us, at all the times, we must praise and be thankful to our mighty God. I'm thus vividly reminded of Psalms 9:1. I quote, I will give thanks to you, Lord. With all my heart, I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. The last time we gathered here, on January 15, 2022, we had the Yatta Declaration. And I would want to invite my brother Raila, on behalf of Azimio Fraternity, to come up with the Yatta Declaration 2. We, as an affirmation of the endorsement of that few months prior, in November, at our Wiper Democratic Movement, National Delegates Conference in Kasarani, when we then Yatta won, the declaration affirmed the conclusions of what had happened at the Delegates Conference. Ultimately, as Wiper and the One Kenya Alliance, Oka, my sister mother at that point was actually with me in Oka, having consulted widely and particularly cognizant of what was at stake for all the people of Kenya. We joined hands with my brother, former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, and Sister Mother Karua in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya, and crafted the Azimio One Kenya coalition. Others were my brother Gideon Moi was with us, and Kanu in Oka, and I think several other friends who sometimes the going became very tough. I saw one of them running as independent somewhere in Luo Nyanza. However, our presidential electoral victory was openly stolen by the minority Chebukati-led Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, IEBC, and illegally validated at the Supreme Court of Kenya. In the National Assembly, our majority coalition numbers were unlawfully and systematically reduced to mirror the farce of a stolen election. Today, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all of the Wiper leadership who, despite intimidation and overt bribery, notwithstanding the bets of which political party would be the first to fall prey to the whims of those who currently hold the instruments of power, stood and continue to stand firm and tall. Heko to Wiper members of parliament. None of them was able to get hoodwinked. And if any of them would dare after today, clearly, the next general election utakuwa umejipeleka nyumbani wewe mwenyewe. As your party leader, I take particular pride when I look at all of you and take in our diversity of representation. Against all odds, we have grown from Ukambani region. This is a national political movement of Machakos, the Ukambani region of Lower Eastern, Machakos, Makueni, and Kitui counties, and spread to Taita Taveta. Out of the 4 elected members of parliament in Taita Taveta County, 3 of them are Wiper. And of course, we also spread to Tana River, to Nairobi. That's why we have Mawathe in Embakasi South and other places. To Kajiado, to Embu, Busia, Kisii. Now I know where you come from. Now we know the culprit. It is one Mawathe Musili. Tafadhali, hold your peace, hold your peace. We hear you. We hear you. We hear you. We hear you. You know, ndugu Raila Wakamba na msemo that an animal smells exactly like the forest from which it slept the previous night. Nyamwe nyunga kitheka kila ye. Ama nyunga kitheka kia ilobi. So, I can talk of Garissa, Wajir, Wiper's presence in 14 counties, and as a movement, I honestly believe this is just the beginning. But we might, in the interest of this nation and growth of democracy and deepening of our gains, have to operate now perhaps. And this is my challenge to the leadership of Azimio. We now must move with speed, consolidate Azimio National Secretariat, and be able to see whether going forward we will not give Azimio #1 priority. To our 3 elected governors, the 3 deputy governors, our 4 senators in this Lower Eastern region, 23 members of National Assembly, apart from the council, I think we're about 30, 4 county women members of parliament, 3 speakers of county assemblies, and 111 members of county assembly. I salute you all and loudly say, hongereni, hongera, hakika tutaweza, na hakika muliweza. I would also like to pay tribute to all those who sought elective office on a Wiper ticket across the country, but unfortunately did not prevail. William Shakespeare, in one of my favorite plays, Romeo and Juliet, wrote, I quote, "There is an old saying that applies to me. You can't lose a game if you don't play the game." End of quote. So, at the end of the day, you are the next lot of leaders. And to be honest with you, as Wiper, not to frighten our colleagues, our big brother ODM, if we move the way we did, we would even take over Kisii in Nyamira. I know we have MCAs from Nyamira. Did they come? Mheshimiwa Ndonya Aburi, Ndonya Aburi, oh, there she is, the Kisii County Women Representative on Wiper. But they worked very closely with the ODM governor of Kisii. The Bible, in the wonderful book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 tells us there is an appointed time for everything, and the time for every affair under the sun. End of quote. This afternoon here in Niata may just be considered an appointed time, as we have invited our friends in Azimio One Kenya Coalition here in a continuation of our town hall meetings. Ndugu Raila, this is actually a town hall meeting. Come to think of it. That's what we did, Sister Mother. We said a town hall meeting. But wow, what a town hall meeting. It's wonderful that you all could find time to come. Therefore, this continuation of these town hall meetings, and we call them sometimes the People's Baraza, to deliberate certain affairs afflicting all Kenyans under our sun. Despite the bipartisan talks between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, there continues to be a sustained assault on democracy and an obvious attempt to take Kenyans back to the days of single-party dictatorship, as it then was, by consuming legitimate political parties. If this was not the case, we, as Azimio la Umoja One Kenya, will be the majority in the National Assembly. Our majority was stolen in broad daylight. Therefore, that's why we continue to fight for democracy. On Monday, we joined the rightful leadership of the Jubilee Party at their NDC at Gong Racecourse, because they even were denied going to Bomas of Kenya. And we did this in solidarity, as well as to publicly express our revulsion at the blatant attempt to take over party by hypocrites. As the nation heard from Gong Racecourse, let them too today loudly and clearly hear our emphatic no, you will not take over Jubilee for the sake of democracy. Not now, ever. And here, there's no clergy and political class. Kenyans must stand up and defend democracy. That's why I'm wearing this fatigue. I'll continue wearing this until I'm sure that the provisions of Constitution 2010 on multi-party democracy remain respected. Yesterday, Kenyans and the world witnessed a rogue regime's attempt to silence the voice and violate the freedoms of our brother Maina Njenga that are assured under our Constitution. In spite of the tear gas lobbed at them, you heard the freedom song sung at the DCI headquarters on Kiambu Road. I quote, and because I tried to get a quick translation, notice I can pick 90% of Kikuyu, because Mwangiria, ikiongea Kikambo unasikia yote, ikiongea Kikuyu nasema, this is how it went. Mount Kenya belongs to the warriors. You will not confuse us anymore. Our brothers and sisters from the mountain are loudly and clearly stating enough is enough. On Wednesday, we suspended the bipartisan talks, in fact agreed with senior counsel, my learned brother, Otienda Molo, who is in the House. I think Kenyans will want to see Otienda Molo, who is leading the team here of very able negotiators, absolutely able. We gave them our team A, wakatupatia under 17. There's my brother Poshin, who is, as you heard, the leader of KUP and member all the way from West Pokot. And of course we have also some of the other members there, your own Senator Wambua Kiyo, did I see Kitui Senator is right there, himself a renowned journalist, and of course Abel, my young learned junior brother, Edwin Sifuna, Senator for Nairobi. And I think I saw of course the minority leader in the Senate, our senator from Kilifi. He's not sitting in that committee, but I saw him. Welcome so much, our brother, all the way from Kilifi. And others whom I think our party leader may want to introduce. I wholesomely concur with our minority leader and member for Kadhiani, who also serves as our national organizing secretary of the party, Honorable Robert Mbui's conclusions on the bill. And I quote, this is now, I'm sorry, I should go backwards a little bit. When we gave them our team A, they gave us team B, the other side has put forward an anti-people finance bill. Anti-people finance bill. And Sifuna, I think, was able to tell Kalwale the entire truth about this matter. Measures proposed include raising the gross sales tax from 1% to 3%, doubling the rate of value-added tax, VAT, applied on petroleum products from the existing 8% to 16%, 100% increase, and applying various excise duties, including an increase from 12% to 15% on money transfer services, and a new one on milk and sugar, maziwa na sukari. Further, there's what can only be called the Ghost National Housing Development Fund, statutory deduction of 3% of gross earnings. Even their peers could not even stand before the Committee of Parliament to justify that. Therefore, I wholeheartedly concur when Robert Mbui said, I have never seen such a vicious attempt to turn Kenyans into paupers. So what happened to the clarion call of Mamambogas and Bodabodas? Indeed, the hustler nation. If you buy a copy of my book, you will then be able to know whether your party leader is a hustler or not. Because a time has come when we must call a spade a spade. If you know where Sekuru is, it can only take the grace of God for one like me to stand before you and talk to you today. Wow. So, while in Azimio, and I want to conclude, Azimio One Kenya feel pain to remind Kenyans that we continually spoke of false prophets. Within quotes will come to you in sheep's clothing, but are inwardly ferocious wolves. Paraphrasing the Gospel of Matthew chapter 7 at verses 15. It is day by day becoming patently clear that Kenya Kwanza lied to this land. The finance bill is a clear affirmation of their falsehoods, and we ask all members of Parliament, regardless of their coalition affiliation, to stand with the people of Kenya and reject the bill in its totality, line by line. We will push for an open vote where one's name is called out and he or she openly affirms yes or no. Kenyans want to know whether you are with them or against them.